Am I breathing properly? Raise your hand if you know how to breathe properly. We're going to be talking about asthma and allergies and upper respiratory issues all throughout October, but first we need to talk about what normal breathing looks like. If for those of you who raise your hand, how do you breathe? Can you imagine what it feels like or looks like for you to actually inhale correctly so that you're bringing as much oxygen into your lungs as you can and then getting rid of as much CO2 or carbon dioxide as you possibly can so that your cells are fully nourished? The majority of you breathe like this. And the reason you breathe like this is because you've unlearned how to breathe innately. When you're born, and for those of you guys who have young babies, look at the way that your babies breathe. Your diaphragm does the majority of the heavy lifting, which means you're able to inhale, your belly rises, and as you exhale, your belly falls. Over the course of our adult lives, because of stress, because of trauma, because of bad posture, because of all sorts of other things, we unlearn how to do this because this is the best way for us to run away from attackers when we are stressed out. As a result, we cut down on our vital capacity, which is our ability to actually inhale correctly. And over time, we just plain forget how to use our diaphragm. So guys, here's what I want you to do. If you are resonating with this information and you're like, well, I don't know if I'm breathing correctly, I want you to do a little bit of an exercise, okay? I'm gonna tilt my camera down just a bit so you can see my belly. I want you to put your hands on your belly, okay? And as you inhale, I want you to actively try to push your hands out, okay? So here we go. 1, 2. Okay? Most of you will breathe like this, because that's the way that you've been convinced to breathe, right? Those of you guys who are trying to do this and you're finding that it's really hard, it's because you don't use that muscle. Your diaphragm is completely wiped out. And what's so crazy about having a weak diaphragm is that because your diaphragm is one of your major core muscles, you also have core instability, which means your lumbar spine is not working the way that it's supposed to. This is the number one cause of things like low back pain that I see in my practice. Believe it or not, people will complain of vertebrae down at the very base, L5 or L4 being the problem, when the reality is the cause is about 4 vertebrae higher where the diaphragm inserts where all the nerves come from. If that's weak, everything at the bottom, you're gonna consider it like a telephone pole. These muscles are guy wires, do not function correctly, and those are the weak links. So believe it or not, breathing and respiration is closely tied to a properly functioning lower back. If you guys aren't breathing correctly, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So here's what I want you to do. Focus. Take a 4-second breath in. Hold. 4-second breath out. And hold. Each of those are 4-second holds. We call this Navy SEAL breathing. It helps to train you to use your diaphragm better. And for those of you guys who have been diagnosed with asthma, those of you guys who are prone to chronic upper respiratory infections, those of you guys who even have seasonal allergies, the more you do this, the easier it is for us as chiropractors to help to get into that nervous system to correct some of those underlying neurospinal issues that can contribute to those problems, okay? So guys, do that exercise and then get back to me. I love you guys all. I'll see you next time. Bye.